Welcome back to Yoga Therapy Thursdays. This week we're working on stretching out our adductors. They're the muscles on the insides of our thighs and help bring our legs together. For many of us, our adductors are incredibly tight, and this can cause issues with our low back. So making sure they're nice and stretched out will help for a healthy back. To start, we're going to do a wide leg forward fold, or standing straddle. You want your feet about wingspan distance apart. To do that, step your feet wide, take your arms out to a T, and then hinge at your wrists. Where your fingertips would draw a line straight down, that's where you want your ankles to be. I'm going to place my hands on my hips. Think about turning my toes in just a little bit so the outer edges of the feet press into the floor. Lift my heart center and then fold just about halfway. Place my hands in the block. And if you have the flexibility, you can go all the way down to the floor. That's fine, but chances are your adductors are not tight. For the majority of the population, you'll start to feel a bit of a stretch in your inner thigh. Just hang out here for a few breaths. When you're ready, hands to the hips, slowly lift all the way up. Another option is to take this straddle to the floor. This is still a wide leg forward fold. If this is uncomfortable, you can take a blanket, roll it up, and place it underneath your bottom to lift your hips up. Once elevated, you'll feel a little bit of relief, but you should still be able to feel stretch through your inner thighs. If this feels comfortable, you can start to walk your hands out, or again, you can use a block to support you, or even support your head. Another approach is to do one leg at a time. We're not going to lean towards one side. We're still going to sit up nice and tall with one leg folded in, the other leg straight, and then start to walk your hands forward. Again, you can use a blanket underneath your bottom to lift your hips up. You can also use a block to help support you in your fold. Continuing on with variations of the wide leg forward fold, we can do this against a wall. You want to start by scooting close to a wall. You can even do this on your bed. And you're going to cartwheel your way down. Lift your legs straight up, and then allow them to open up into a straddle. This is a nice way to finish a yoga practice or even something that you can do when you're just chilling out at home. And to get out of this, come up the way you went down. Another nice way to stretch out your adductors supine is to use a strap. Wrap it around your foot and lift your leg up. Take the strap in the same side hand as the foot and allow the leg to come out sideways. You can take several pillows or a block and place it underneath your leg for support, or you can hang out here for a few breaths before lifting the leg back up. When you're ready, release the strap, take the leg back down. Bound angle is another nice way to stretch out your adductors. You can start sitting up nice and tall with your knees bent and the soles of the feet together. If this is difficult to get into, you can roll up a blanket and place it underneath your hips to give yourself a little bit of elevation. Another option, if your knees don't touch the ground, which most people's don't, you can place blocks underneath your knees for support. From here, if you feel stretch, you can just stay here, or you can hinge from the hips and start to fold forward. Bound angle can also be done supine. This is one of my favorite ways to end a yoga class. Soles of the feet together, knees open, blocks underneath the knees for support. These are just a few of the ways you can stretch out your adductors. You can be creative or just look around at other yoga postures or stretches that'll do the same job. I offered several variations to stretch your adductors. Choose what works for you and meet yourself where you're at. If getting down to the floor is difficult, do the standing postures. If standing up for a long time can be difficult, try some of the supine ones. As always, start in constructive rest to release your psoas and the muscles of your low back. Move into mobility, strengthen, and then stretch. Thanks for joining me on Yoga Therapy Thursdays. See you next week.